Well, I don't know. Success. I'm not sure. I guess, when I started out in the business, I was a little bit older than my peers, so I had that kind of advantage, being a little bit older. I guess also, some people, I don't know why they do this, but, they got to go gung-ho and get booked up in 3 or 4 different, organizations at least at a time, and I'm like, how the hell can they do this night after night after night after night, doing all this promotion for themselves and, doing matches and stuff. You got to have burnout, or you got to have injuries, or something's got to happen. I just don't get that. Some people might be able to do it, if they got no time at all, and if they got all the money to travel around from here and there, and if, of course, the freaking promoters will allow them to do all that. But, me, it's always been my philosophy to always be in only one wrestling organization at a time. It's always been my MO. It's always how I've been. And, I haven't, gotten a wild hair or something because I disagreed with something that the owner or promoter said and just run off because I don't like it. I've been in, in the IWA, the VWA, UTA, and BACW, 5 bids in 15 years. Of course, a couple of those I had several different stints in, but it's longevity within those particular feds that has kind of kept me successful and kept me around. And also just trying to keep things fresh and entertaining and trying to, being a broken record and, just falling into, a stale lull or relaxation because, it's my job to perform to the best of my abilities. And with that, as long as I perform to the best of my abilities, that makes me successful because the fans like that, and if the promoters see that, then they're going to give me the success and, give me the ball and let me run with it. So that's probably how I would attribute my success. Well, the current roster that BACW has right now, it has all the makings and all the potential to be probably the greatest roster probably ever that BACW has had. Because you've got a lot of wrestlers from the era from like 2006 from the time I was there to 2008. There's obviously some that were there before me, like Lee Rill and Rick Righteous, and to name a few. And also, even some of the even the older veterans like Mike Cavanaugh and Jack Craven, they're also back into the fold. So all these wrestlers, they're not just your run-of-the-mill, mid-card type people. These were all guys that were at the top of their game at one time or another in BACW. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out because, when you got a roster with such talent, massive talent, as BACW has now, it's going to get really, really crowded at the top, and it's going to be very interesting to see who gets weeded out and who stands out, and who remains at the top of the game. You know, right now that's my Kavanaugh. I mean, that could change next week or next month. I mean, he's the NWA champion, so his role will probably change in some capacity, and we'll just see what else happens. And as far as standouts, you know, Michael Barnes is one guy that I like to see go pretty far during this run of BACW. And one other guy who I really hope something good happens, you know, with him, and that's Matt McLean. You know, I mean, God help him, that guy has been with BACW for a long time, and you know, he's been right there. He's been that close. I mean, at one time he even held the championship. You know, but you know, shit happens, and you know, things just didn't work out. So it's like every time he gets up, you know, and gets that much closer to the championship and to his, you know, his ultimate goal in wrestling, something happens. You know, whether that's an injury or something that goes on in his personal life or whatever. You know, it's really frustrating. And from me, from a fan's perspective, so to speak, I can see his frustration. You know, I'm frustrated. You know, because I want that guy to go places. You know, I want him to reach that echelon and to see his moment in the spotlight. Now you're getting to the good stuff. All right. Very good question. Very good question. Oh yeah, I've seen a lot in my time, and I definitely got some pet peeves. Believe you me, I've got some pet peeves. I got two big ones. And say, of course, you know, in the business that we're in, we kind of have to prepare as part of our success. We have to do some sort of, you know, self-promotion to get noticed and everything. And for the love of me, I just don't understand it. You know, maybe it works for some wrestlers. You know, it doesn't work for me. But of all the you know, ideas and situations to come up for as far as doing our own air promos and stuff, it baffles my mind, because there are still some people out there, you know, wrestlers, who will resort to doing the standard in-ring promo. You know, I mean, how easy is that? I mean, that takes no imagination. Get in front of a ring, speak your mind, trash talk or whatever. And another setting is like, you know, which is extremely overused. Extremely overused is the wrestler. You know, here's the situation. You know, the wrestler is he's preparing for a match. So what he's going to do? He's in a gym, and he's talking to himself. And he's like, 1, 2, push-ups or calisthenics or lifting weights or sit-ups or something. Whatever it is, he's like, 1, 2. I must prepare for this match. It's the best match of my life. If I don't, I will fail, and I'll have to cross and stop. 3, 4. I'm the better man. The wrestler on the other side, he's my opponent. He's nothing. 5, 6. I mean, come on. I mean, enough of the gym. That has been overplayed as much as the in-ring promo. I mean, like I said, maybe it works for some people, especially if the wrestler is like, you know, he's a bodybuilder type person, or you know, he's a narcissistic type persona or whatever. But I mean, see, that's why you won't see me using, you know, when I'm doing my self-promotion, you'll never see me doing a lifting weights or working out. You won't see me doing in-ring promo because that's for the show. That's for the show. But as far as in between all the shows, when we have to do a self-promotion and things like that, I try as part of my success to try and be unique or something. I try and come up with some of the weirdest shit in the weirdest settings that I can. But so I try and stray away from that because that just doesn't. It just doesn't make sense to me, and it doesn't fit, at least in my personal, doesn't fit in my personal agenda and how I want to be successful. And the other pet peeve I have is people or wrestlers that outside of this business, when they're talking in general conversation to their peers or something, they act like assholes, complete and total assholes. And then when you ask them, they say, because I can. Well, okay, just because you can act like an asshole doesn't mean you have to act like an asshole. I mean, maybe the next time you do that and I see you in person, maybe I should kick you in the ass. And when you say, well, what'd you do that for? I should say, because I can. I mean, just, there are some people who take this business extremely, extremely seriously. And in order to probably kind of put themselves up, maybe because their own lack of security, or maybe deep down inside, maybe they feel they're not as good as they think they are, they have to put down everybody else. I mean, in general conversations, there's two people that were notorious for cutting other people down. That was Methodical, a guy known as Methodical, and another guy known as Presidious. Two of the biggest jerks and assholes I've ever seen. And I hope to God I never see them again. Because, that's just ridiculous. People open their mouth, and you have these two locos just cutting everybody down and just filling the conversations with a bunch of trash. And it's just ridiculous, You don't need to act like an asshole just because you can. Be civil and be professional in this. Don't act like a jerk, because, that just makes for bad business. And no one likes that.